It is a beautiful day to be alive, to play some golf. So welcome back to Golf with Jen.
Ladies first.
Why is it always ladies
Of course, we're gentlemen. Because you're the pro.
Welcome back to the vlog. Today is day 2 of being back to golf. In today's vlog, there's still going to be a lot of bad shots. There's going to be some good shots. There's going to be some course management. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more content. Later on in the video, you might notice that I'm using a different style of videoing. I am experimenting with a different zoom in feature that makes the videos look a little bit different. I am enjoying it, but please let me know what you guys think and if you guys preferred the old style or the new style. I think it actually makes the golf course look a lot prettier even though it is zoomed in. However, I do feel like on certain holes you guys would enjoy seeing the scenery. So let me know what you think, if you prefer the old style or the new style. Until then, keep watching and enjoy the vlog.
Wow. Backspin. Impressive. Wow. Good. Came back.
So I think a common question with par 5s is when should you lay up and when should you just like hit your 3-wood and go as close as possible to the pin. My answer for this is unless you really have a distance that you do not like, or there is distance that you really like and you know that if you're within that range you're gonna hit a lot better shot, I think you should just hit the longest club possible. Like in that situation, it's just very wet and I didn't have a very good lie, so I know the ball was not going to fly very far. So a 3-wood was not going to get me like in an awkward distance or anything among, it's just not going to get me in a bad place. So I knew that I could hit 3-wood and I knew that it was going to be a good enough shot to get myself on the fairway. So I think the most important thing is just make sure that you hit a shot that's going to get you on the fairway and not going to get you into any hazards or trouble, because a lot of times people think so much about wanting to lay up and then they either leave themselves really short and end up having a really difficult third shot into the green, or they lay up to a spot that they still don't like and then now they're regretting laying up and then they're just not in the right mindset. So I would say just always go for it if you can, unless there's really something that you're trying to avoid. This is a good angle to show you guys that how much further you have to carry if you carry on the left side versus if you carry on the right side of this water hazard. So even though the pin is there, it's actually in the smallest area which you have to carry the furthest, and you don't have as much landing area, and behind there's bunkers. So there's really no point going for this pin unless you really have the perfect distance. If not, center of the green, even though if you hit this slope here it's going to go away, like kind of what like my ball did, it's still much better than leaving yourself, first of all, in the water hazard, or second of all, in a really bad spot over in the bunker. Now that approach shot was just so difficult for multiple reasons. Like, first of all, it's 203 yards to the pin, so it's obviously not a short distance. I was in the rough, so that's gonna affect it. There's a water hazard short, there's a bunker short, there's a bunker right, there's a bunker left, and there's a water hazard right. So when there's just that many hazards, you have a long club in. Either you have two options basically. If you're confident enough in your shot that you're going to be able to hit something close enough, or go for the pin and not go in a water hazard, which I think is the first thing that you want to avoid here, because obviously the water hazard is a penalty stroke, whereas bunkers you can still play out of. So if you're for sure not going to go in the hazard, then I think you can go for the green. If not, I think you should just lay up and make sure that you put yourself in a spot where you can make a bogey, because on holes like this, a bogey is not a bad score, especially because it's just such a long hole. So even if you hit, you basically have to hit a really good shot if you're more than 200 yards from the pin in the rough and trying to go for the green. So I would say like a layup is completely fine. Like, don't be afraid to lay up. It's much better to lay up, make a bogey, than go for the green, go in a hazard and make a double or a triple. So I think that's a common mistake that a lot of people make. They just want to go for the green just because it's a par 4, but you have to see how difficult or how easy a par 4 is. That all makes a difference.
Go. Very nice.
Sorry for the terrible camera angle there, but on a hole like this, like I said before, like I'm hitting a bit more of a fade now, which is not a bad thing for me, but just because it's something I'm so not used to. On a hole like this where there is like OB and like things that we don't want to hit to on the right, it's so important to trust it and just let the fade, just aim left and let the fade take its natural course, because if you try to go left, that is when you are gonna hook the crap out of it. Again, another long hole. So I definitely could have aimed more right on that one. It's a little bit like the previous hole, the distance is almost the same. I had an uphill lie, which for me definitely means a draw. But there is also a bunker on the right side, so I think on shots like this, you just kind of have to determine which is going to be your best miss. And you know, knowing where to miss is just as important as knowing where to hit good shots.
Nice.
Considered in.
Nice shot. Go left. Go. Go.
I mean, obviously it really sucks when you miss the green with like a wedge in hand, but that's also the point of practicing. I mean, obviously I did choose not to practice for a month, but it's kind of like that is why you practice. For those finesse shots, it's not really those, you know, the regular shots. It's the shots that you need to hit it close, that you need to make birdies on. So I feel like that is the biggest difference when you don't practice, and it just shows because those are the shots that are money shots. This is one of those holes that I don't think a lot of people realize, and I don't know if it's because there's water in front of the green, like when you hit on the right side of the fairway you need to carry a water hazard, or if it's just because the green is more elevated than it looks, but it's always playing longer than it actually is, and I think it's like one club longer. So I mean, I didn't hit that bad of a shot there. I just had way too much spin. It just hit the front of the green and backspin all the way forward, and it's a bit of false front too, so if you hit short you're gonna come backwards. But this hole definitely need to take more club, and it's just one of those holes where if you don't play here often you might not realize, but if you do, then definitely you need to learn to take more club, because I see people hit this short so often that it's definitely a trend. Another thing I think this shows is the importance of practicing your chipping. I mean, with a chip shot, right? 1 yard of difference with your landing can make such a big difference. So I feel like I'm not chipping it badly, like I'm making good contact. I think my technique is still pretty good. It's just that maybe I'm not as accurate as I usually am when I'm practicing my chipping more. So that little bit is giving me 3-footers versus like tap-ins. So that's a big difference if you don't make those 3-footers. So obviously did not leave myself in a good position here, but I'm actually pretty fine. It's just that the lie is not very great. So this is a long par 5, so generally I want to get it as close as I possibly can, but because the lie is not very great, the most important thing right now is trying to get it in a spot. There's also a lot of bunkers out there which we don't want to get in, so trying to get it on the fairway right now is more important than distance.